Well, hello, my friends. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday evening. I am glad to be with you tonight. They had a very long weekend. The last night I was with you was Wednesday. It's a very rare time that I'll take from Wednesday to Monday without a show. But a lot going on in my world. And it's all good. So happy to report that. And I'm out of my studio right now, so I may come on here in a little bit. But I want to get right into something that Elon Musk just shared. You know, a couple things that he's sharing that are, you know, so important. And he is a voice of reason, and I believe, as you know, a white hat voice of reason that they have brought him into this Q-fold, and we are seeing quite a bit unfolding that are pretty awesome. Here it is.
Fox News alert: the Justice Department just released the bombshell report that we've been waiting for. What actually happened on January 6th? The FBI had 26 confidential human sources there that day. 26. A confidential human source is a guy the FBI pays to spy for them. Of the 26 confidential human sources who were in D.C. on Jan 6th, 4 entered the Capitol during the riot. An additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. So more than a dozen FBI spies participated in the so-called insurrection. A bunch of them broke into the Capitol. Their own inspector general says this is what happened. But that's not what they told you when they testified under oath.
Those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th, how many were there?
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
I thought I heard you say you didn't know whether there were FBI agents or informants or human sources in the Capitol or in the vicinity on January 6th. Did I misunderstand you? I thought that's what you said.
Well, I referred very specifically to undercover agents.
Yeah. And so are you acknowledging then there were undercover agents?
As I sit here right now, I do not believe there were undercover agents on scene.
The inspector was hiding something, so Congress asked the question a different way. Listen.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people, no, we did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol?
Gentleman's time has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision not to share information.
Director Ray,
confidential.
Gentleman's time.
Ray's right. The FBI didn't have undercover agents at January 6th. They had confidential human sources. So what's the difference? Well, a confidential human source doesn't get health insurance or a pension. They're just freelancing for the feds. Rats in MAGA hats. They're basically paid informants that the FBI runs out of headquarters. A lot of these FBI rats get picked up on some other charge. They get sat down and the FBI says, you're going to work for me now. And if you don't, you're looking at 20 years to life. So these guys say, yes, sir. And they cozy up to people like the Proud Boys and anyone the feds wants to watch and control from the inside. And these confidential human sources are under pressure to deliver. What does deliver mean? It means intelligence and big busts that get the FBI good headlines. According to the Inspector General report, the spies were feeding the FBI intel that said January 6th was going to get a little hairy. But FBI headquarters did nothing about it and then lied to Congress and said they did. So Why did headquarters let January 6th get so out of hand? And what were all these FBI spies doing that day and the days before? Were they riling everyone up like they did in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot? In that case, the FBI informants instigated the plot. They even used an FBI credit card to buy the ammo, supplies, and hotel rooms. Did the FBI pay for Jan 6 hotel rooms? We don't know. Remember, the media and the Democrats said this whole thing was a conspiracy.
Where do you think this idea comes from, that this was somehow done by the feds?
I heard that one of the debaters said it was an inside job. It's an inside job on the part of Donald Trump and his henchmen.
Republicans have blamed the FBI and said it was an inside job.
It certainly was not an inside job by FBI agents or Antifa. They go around blaming it on Antifa and FBI agents.
Well, how did the media know it wasn't an inside job when the FBI had 26 of their people on the inside? January 6th certainly benefited the media, the FBI and the Democrats. 1,500 arrests, humiliated Trump, got him impeached, criminalized the MAGA movement. Trump got indicted over January 6th, remember? They tried to throw him in prison over this. The January 6th committee, it's all Democrats did for 2 years. Why didn't the committee find any of these snitches? They did a one-sided investigation and teed up Garland to charge Trump so they could run against a convicted felon. So the media is going to apologize, right? No. The media today is cherry-picking the report to say there were no undercover agents there on January 6th. The whole thing's a conspiracy. These aren't articles. They're FBI press releases. And they wonder why their ratings are trash and no one trusts them. It's because of this. They don't want the truth. They want to hide it if it hurts the left. And they can't admit they were wrong because it's too embarrassing. And they were a part of the cover-up. But the FBI is worse than the media. The FBI knew what was in this report. They covered it up before the election. And then the director says he's resigning the day before it comes out. Give me a break. This kind of sliminess is why Trump nominated Kash Patel. I wonder what else Kash is going to find in the bureau when he looks under the hood.
As a former federal prosecutor and a public defender who defended a lot of these types of cases, what you need to show is whether or not the FBI and government agents were using undercover operatives and informants on the day of January 6th. Once you prove that, then you defeat the insurrection narrative with the FBI's own documentation.
And what does this report do to the January 6th defendants? None of the confidential informants were arrested or charged. These guys were right alongside everyone walking into the Capitol. But you're in prison for years? Now, if you're a defense attorney for a Jan 6er and this drops after the case was decided, that could change everything. Constitutional law professor Jonathan Turley says this, quote, "There is a question of why the confidential human sources who entered the Capitol were not charged as part of an operation that the Justice Department described as an effort to shock and awe, targeting everyone involved that day. This report does not find specific wrongdoing or direction from confidential human sources in the rioting. Congress, however, is likely to seek more information on these sources and their conduct on the day." Are you allowed to commit crimes as a spy for the FBI and not get charged? Because they said this was the greatest attack on democracy ever. Said it was up there with 9/11. Traitors, they said, seditionists. They're off scot-free. You can try to overthrow the government if you're an FBI rat and just walk away. Congress has to find out. And what does this mean for pardons? I mean, the Hunter Biden pardon already greased the runway for Trump, but this report's all the ammo Trump needs. He told Time magazine, it's going to start in the first hour, maybe the first 9 minutes. Now, if I were president, I don't think I'd pardon J6ers who were slugging cops, but if you were wandering around peacefully, come on. And it's not just Kash Patel that's going to clean house. Tulsi's on deck.
I'm here with Tulsi Gabbard. She's here on the Hill meeting with my colleagues. She's going to be a great DNI, Director of National Intelligence. It's a really important job. It oversees all of our intelligence agencies, and it's in need of reform. I think everybody would admit that. And so we need to bring in a reformer.
Now, the deep state's never been this backed into a corner, ever. We have Trump assassination files that we want to release, JFK assassination files, COVID files. Epstein, Diddy. What about that pipe bomb? Is the FBI still working on that one? Who planted that? It's just another conspiracy theory that you were right about. The lab leak, the laptop, and now Jan 6. No wonder Biden's under pressure to dish out more pardons. Who knows how high this thing goes?
Who knows how high this thing goes, because we have been lied to about it left and right. And, you know, people like myself that were there just peacefully were thrown in prison. Jake Lang, yeah, shouldn't be taking a baseball bat to people without question, right? But just the fact that we were set up by these feds, it's like fraud vitiates all. Like they were instigating this the whole time and lying about it and sending people to prison, sending Walmart
Fox News
to prison. And it's like, what's up with that? I want to take us to LA. It's just what's going off in LA right now is the reason why I'm spending time on it. Hey Kev, good to see you, brother. Yeah, Jesse does some great stuff. And what the fuck is taking so long to expose? Let me count the ways, Kevin. It's like, right? I mean, it's so much that needs to be exposed that, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And that we're absolutely, and Catfather B was talking about Jake Lang. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of, this exposure is taking a long time, without question. But look at all that must be exposed. It is just too much. But the reason why, back to LA, that I'm taking the time that I am with this topic of the LA mayoral race is because I think this is the seal that is being broken on the just business as usual in local politics, and it needs to stop, and we need to be a part of that halt and shifting to people like Spencer Pratt. Let me play this for you.
Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down, and I had to take a minute to run for mayor. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. In West Los Angeles, Palisades, my backyard is where I spend most of my days. Feeding hummingbirds, relaxing all cool, avoiding all the bums outside of the school. When a couple politicians who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood, I got at one little fire, my mom got scared and said, "You're moving in with Harvey Levin in Bel Air." I pulled out from my lot about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the rubble, "Yo ho, smell you later." I moved to my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air.
Just an absolute banger of an ad that is being shared far and wide. And again, I think this is the crack in the seal. And we're seeing you know, we see this guy running for mayor of Los Angeles, the third city, I guess. Chicago's second city, New York first city, but let's go to the first city and see what's going on there with another socialist mayor. How they've gotten in, I have no idea. But this was placed outside of Mondani's mansion.
I'll talk to you, Mark. Thank you.
Awesome. That's Scott Lebedo right there. Scott Lebedo.
I'll talk to you, Mark. Thank you.
You know, so we're seeing, I mean, think about the three big cities, right? Think about New York City. Think about Chicago with Johnson and the pathetic job that he's doing. And the Obamas building that nasty, you know, behemoth of a presidential library, just hideous. And the corruption that's going on there. And, you know, Fat Pritzker and Mayor Johnson and just the crime, and then LA and the fires, and, you know, New York with the Muslims and the socialism. I mean, talk about a fucking wake-up call, my friends, right? Like, we are being shown something very, very, very special here, okay? And we need to understand that this is such a part of the awakening, right? So this is, Cat Father B, I never thought we'd be rooting for Spencer Pratt, right? This is, he also said he didn't like Trump's action. In the same breath, he said Trump is the greatest president we've ever had, even greater than George Washington. I told him to thank God, most amazing time to be alive. Did I miss the previous comment? Here we go. People are waking up. Wedding I went to this weekend, a very nice man told me he's worried Trump will be killed. It was my pleasure to tell him he'll be fine. He's insulted, or did you mean insulated? Yeah. And yeah, I think Kevin, the timeline will speed up after the full exposure of the judiciary is underway, because it's going to be military, and it's yeah. The and back. Let's go back over to L.A., Simi Valley, where the here. Let me take you there. It's this one here. This is where the Ronald Reagan presidential libraries. This is where the Ronald Reagan library is, Simi Valley.
Evacuation orders as a fast-moving brush fire is now burning near homes in Simi Valley. The Sandy fire broke out at 10:50 a.m. local time, we are told, and has burned at least 10 acres, according to a local report. Helicopters have been dumping water on the fire, and we have been seeing, wow, look at this site here. We've been seeing structures burning there. We're unclear if the structures we've been seeing on fire are homes, but this is some of the new video, I should say, live shot that we are getting of this happening and spreading right now. John, wow, we're taking in these pictures together. We're just getting word of this, and we can report that evacuations are underway now.
Yeah, I took a look at the map. It's about 4 miles away from the Ronald Reagan Library and Museum.
Wow.
So that's not threatened at all, at least not for the moment. But, you know, these wildfires in California, as we see a Chinook helicopter dumping water or retardant on the flames, these things can get out of control and really spread very quickly. So to jump 5 miles, if you've got a pretty good wind, isn't much at all.
Yeah, we're praying for anybody who is in the path of this. We are going to.
So Yeah, lied to our whole lives, without question. Let me take you to a story of James O'Keefe, who exposed this woman, Brenda Brown, the Skid Row election petitioner. They caught her on camera. And listen to
So
that.
first I want to talk about voter fraud in the case of United States versus Brown Armstrong, and we'll have a graphic up there in a moment. The Department of Justice has charged a longtime California signature gatherer under 52 USC section 10307 subsection C with one count of paying another person to register to vote in a federal election. The defendant, Brenda Lee Brown Armstrong, has signed a plea agreement and has admitted her guilt on this charge. According to the plea agreement, and my colleague Bilasali will be able to answer any specific questions about it, she worked as a petition circulator, aka signature gatherer here in Los Angeles for approximately 20 years. And starting in 2025 or so, after Ms. Brown Armstrong had a practice of going down to Skid Row here in Los Angeles, getting homeless people to sign these signature petitions that had to do with qualifying ballot measures and et cetera, she would sometimes find that the signatures would be disqualified because the people signing these signature petitions weren't actually registered to vote. So to remedy this flaw in her business arrangements, she would then gather, starting in 2025, stacks of voter registration forms from the Los Angeles County Registrar of Voters, and then go to Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles to have homeless people first sign the voter registration forms and then sign the signature petitions. And she did this in exchange for cash and other items of value, inducements both for the voter registration and for the signature petitions. These were often small sums of cash, just a few dollars, as well as cigarettes and phone cards. On several occasions, when the homeless person had no formal address to enter on the voter registration form, Ms. Brown Armstrong provided them with a fake address, namely her own former address in Los Angeles, to write on the voter registration form. Now, the potential charges and sentence rather would include 5 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $10,000. This case is important because it shows how easy it is under California law to corrupt the state's voter rolls and thereby corrupt the state and federal elections administered by the state. Because when someone registers.
So, we're wondering what's going on with the elections, what's going to happen, right? Well, it's starting to unravel, isn't it? Starting to unravel. And we are shifting into just an absolute new way of living our lives and a new reality and a new, just a new world that we're entering into. And we got to get rid of it, ready for it. And we have to, and by the way, they cut the budget in LA, these clowns, so you've seen that fire burn in Simi Valley, and they cut the LA Fire Department by 17 million before those fires. And the reservoir that was dry when they had no water to fight the fires is dry again. It's just like Biden, folks. We knew that was an organized takedown of our country because it couldn't have fallen any faster than if it was intentional. And we knew it was intentional. And we were just like, okay, yeah, we're kind of over this. We're kind of done. We're ready to shift into a new way of being. And the only way we can do that is if we get rid of the bad judges, right? And we get rid of the bad politicians, the judiciary, the legislative, and we take care of the bad executives, the Bidens, the Obamas, the Bushes, going back, and we take care of all them too. And we get justice for JFK. We get justice for Reagan. And we get justice for the assassination attempts on Trump. And then, you know, and let's go to the Seattle mayor. Okay, so we've talked New York, we've talked Chicago, we've talked Seattle. Now we're L.A. Now we're gonna talk Seattle. And I mean, you just can't make this shit up unless, of course, you're a white hat.
This is why an activist who never had a job should not be the mayor of a city. Meet the mayor of Seattle. One of her first orders of business was to protest outside of the Starbucks, announced that she is boycotting Starbucks, encouraged others to boycott Starbucks. So what happened as a result of that is Starbucks actually moved some of their headquarters to Nashville, Tennessee, and now they're laying off 61 workers at the location she protested. And to make matters even worse, you might say to yourself, well, they were going to Nashville anyway. The South is a booming market. But listen to how the Seattle Times explained this situation. That was back in November when, right after being elected mayor, she exhorted everyone to boycott the hometown coffee giant. I'm not buying Starbucks, she said, and you should not either. Reporting since then by the Seattle Times found that in December, Starbucks tried to snap up a huge office space in Bellevue, one that had already been leased out to other companies. After Starbucks backed away from that bid and then booked a space for 2,000 employees to go to Nashville. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I would think the appropriate stance for a mayor would be to act as that liaison between the activists and the officials that run the city, maybe working out something so that everyone could win. In fact, the former CEO of Starbucks called her out directly and said that she fostered a hostile work environment for businesses. Keep in mind that this is the flagship Starbucks. And how does Katie Wilson, said mayor of Seattle, react when these businesses are leaving, taking their tax revenue with them? By the way, tax the rich doesn't work when you don't have rich to tax. Then you tax the middle class and the poor. But look at her reaction.
I think the claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are like super overblown, and if you know the ones that leave, like bye.
I mean, the arrogance of these people is just, I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. So we need, and by the way, yeah, we all need to stop drinking Starbucks, by the way. I hardly ever drink Starbucks unless I have to. And when I say have to, if it's the only place and I'm jonesing for a coffee. But it's absolutely, hello, Ellen. Thank you, my dear. Good to see you. And yeah, F Starbucks. I'm here. I'm hearing you. Starbucks is poison, and especially in the cups. Have you guys seen where they're lining those cups with chemicals that when the hot liquid goes into it, it releases all those chemicals that's keeping the paper cups from disintegrating? Yeah, this is good. And Massey's getting voted out tomorrow. Is that what I'm seeing, my friends? MAGA girls saying that. Okay. Hey, folks, just so you know, come on, buddy. Mr. Whistle Whiskers is with me and Jasper. And come on, buddy. And if he comes up on my lap, I will make an appearance tonight so that you can see Mr. Whistle Whiskers. But I want to, yeah, this is, we got a lot going on in these big cities that just needs to be exposed in a huge way, and really, yeah, I mean, and this is, by the way, Google and what they're showing in, hold on, let me take you there. Where'd it go? This is what Google is showing in LA. Okay. The street view, right, of the Palisades. A month ago, they were showing it burned down. Now they're showing it all together. Not a problem. This was Edward Mirror, okay? And he said, apparently Google decided showing current reality map might not be ideal for re-election optics of LA mayor. So now Google Maps is serving pre-fire images for parts of LA, where us and our neighbors live. And what was it? It was reposted by libs of TikTok, who said this is election interference, by the way. But we should not be surprised because Eric Voorhees, who was a Google whistleblower and went on with James O'Keefe, told us that they were interfering in elections. Flat out told us they were interfering in elections. And here they're interfering with a local LA election. And when you think about the power of this in terms of, the exposure of big tech and their censorship of you and I and their invasion into our electorate system with, Facebook, Zuckerberg, and his money. It's all coming out, folks. People are going. I'm telling you, you're all gonna. I think we're all gonna say, "Oh my God, I didn't realize it was as bad as it is." Across the board, we're still saying that. Let's go to another city, state, Minnesota, Minneapolis. This is libs of TikTok. Amy Bach, the ringleader of the massive Feeding Our Future $250 million COVID fraud scheme, told the New York Post that Representative Ilhan Omar was in on it. I am so tired of this bitch, this pompous immigrant from a shit country that is, she's coming to a country and speaking out against this country when she would be stoned for pulling this shit in Somalia. It's tragic what we're seeing. But let me shift gears into yesterday's Maria Bartiromo and play this for you because we need to get back into the FISA and the Russia collusion, because this is going to be huge and it's going to open up the election fraud like nothing we've ever seen.
More charges are coming against Comey and others, perhaps John Brennan, of conspiracy over a 10-year period after the statute of limitation was reached on Comey's Russia collusion cover-up. The former FBI head was indicted last month by a grand jury in North Carolina. You heard the former chairman of the Intelligence Committee saying that there has been a conspiracy over 10 years. What have you done about it?
Well, look, that's exactly what we're investigating right now. And by the way, what is not in dispute is that the whole Russia hoax, there was absolutely nothing to it. And so the question that the American people have to ask is, well, then why did they do it? Why did Comey say what he said? Why did the outgoing Obama administration do what they did? And that's what we're studying right now, because it did great damage to this country. It did great damage to President Trump's first term. And we want to understand why that happened, why there continued to be an effort by operatives in the government to go after President Trump while he was in office, and then, of course, over the past several years as well.
Do you believe it was a conspiracy against President Trump?
I mean, that's what we're looking at. And do you believe it? I mean, look at what happened. I mean, here there's no evidence of any Russia collusion at all. And yet there was a special counsel appointed, 2 years, the president's family, his entire administration was investigated. There was zero evidence of any Russia collusion. Right. That cannot happen. And so it should never happen in this country. And so we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Oh, I understand that. And we all know, this audience is well aware of it. We were among the first to say this doesn't smell right. This doesn't look right. We don't think it's true. I had Devin Nunes on and John Ratcliffe on virtually every week back in 2017 and 2018 saying just that, all of their findings. I'd like to know why it's taking so long. I mean, has the statute of limitations run up? Do you have no more wiggle room in terms of zeroing in on things like the Mueller report, the Nunes report, and all the evidence that was clear that they knew that there was no Russia collusion?
Look, I don't know that the statute has run out. I don't think so, because what you saw a continued effort all the way up until very recently, up until the raid of Mar-a-Lago just a couple of years ago, a continued effort to destroy President Trump. And whether that's one conspiracy that continued from 2015, 2016, all the way up to 2023 is what we're looking at right now. But the way that we do that is with the grand jury process. So it's calling witnesses, it's looking at documents, it's having prosecutors study, it's having the FBI look at it and investigate what happened. And we're finding out some incredibly troubling things, and at some point at the right time that will be made public, and the American people will see exactly what happened to this administration and President Trump over the past decade.
Well, I mean, the country was ripped apart. We all know that. Half of the country said he colluded with Russia. The other half said, no, it didn't. I mean, it ripped the country apart. But you say when the time is right. When is the time right? When should we expect these charges of conspiracy?
Well, I mean, look, as has been publicly reported, the Southern District of Florida has an open criminal investigation. That involves hundreds of subpoenas. It involves hundreds of witnesses. And so as far as timing and when we can expect it, we are working hard and we are working efficiently, but we are going to do it right. We are not going to rush something that isn't ready. We're not going to reach a conclusion before our investigation is over. But I assure you, and I assure the American people, that we are completely focused on it.
Okay. Well, I don't know what is not ready. I mean, we've been watching this play out for a long time, and viewers and people watching are frustrated because it just keeps happening. Weaponization keeps happening because it's not corrected the time before. Now, there are charges against Comey right now, threatening the president, transmitting a threat across state lines because of that Instagram post 8647. Is that real, or is that a placeholder, or what exactly is the charge? Because he's saying this has no merit.
Well, I mean, he's entitled to say whatever he wants. What the facts show is that a grand jury, this isn't a DC grand jury. This isn't Todd Blanche, former President Trump's personal attorney, bringing charges. These are line prosecutors, career prosecutors in North Carolina who investigated what happened, investigated this case for nearly a year, and a grand jury returned an indictment. There is nothing more serious in this country, as we've seen repeatedly over the past several years, than threatening President Trump. He has been, on multiple occasions, 3 occasions at least, someone has tried to kill him, okay? So we have to take these threats seriously, and obviously Comey's entitled to his day in court. He is a defendant. He's charged in an indictment out of North Carolina, and those charges are very serious.
Well, obviously, when you see someone like Jim Comey, who was the head of the FBI, write out 8647 on the street, I mean, on the beach, rather, someone who might be mentally challenged is going to use that and say, well, let me go do what Comey just told me to do.
And as we unravel all of that, Check this out.
That we've seen is the issue of your email practices while you were Secretary of State. I think there's a lot of people who don't understand what your thought process was on that. So can you tell me the story of how you decided to delete 33,000 emails and how that deletion was executed?
Well, let's start from the beginning. Everything I did was permitted. There was no law, there was no regulation, there was nothing that did not give me the full authority to decide how I was going to communicate. Previous secretaries of state have said they did the same thing. And people across the government knew that I used one device. Maybe it was because I am not the most technically capable person and wanted to make it as easy as possible.
But you said that they did the same thing, that they used a personal server and
Well, a
while
personal
facing
email.
a subpoena, deleted emails from them?
You know, you're starting with so many assumptions that are, I've never had a subpoena. There is nothing. Again, let's take a deep breath here. Everything I did was permitted by law and regulation. I had one device. When I mailed anybody in the government, it would go into the government system. Now, I didn't have to turn over anything. I chose to turn over 55,000 pages because I wanted to go above and beyond what was expected of me, because I knew the vast majority of everything that was official already was in the State Department system. And now I think it's kind of fun. People get a real-time behind-the-scenes look at, you know, what I was emailing about and what I was communicating about.
Wearing warm socks, as you said to John Podesta.
Exactly. And or
working a fax machine.
Yeah, a secure fax machine, which is harder to work than the regular. So yes, this is being blown up with no basis in law or in fact. That's fine. I get it. This is being, in effect, used by the Republicans in the Congress. Okay. But I want people to understand what the truth is. And the truth is, everything I did was permitted, and I went above and beyond what anybody could have expected in making sure that if the State Department didn't capture something, I made a real effort to get it to them. And I had no obligation to do any of that. So let's set the record straight. And those 55,000 pages, they will be released over the course of this year. People can again make their own judgment.
Wow. What a patriot she is. I mean, she really went above and beyond, didn't she, folks, to do what was expected of her, above and beyond what was expected of her. What a joke. And Sean Hannity confirmed that the 33,000 emails that she bleach bitted have been recovered. And CIA Director Ratcliffe, Lisa Page, confirmed under oath that Barack Obama's DOJ ordered the FBI not to pursue espionage, gross negligence charges against Hillary Clinton for her handling of classified emails on her server in her bathroom closet. This, my friends, is the unraveling, okay,
that has
that is
eroded some
happening,
trust.
and it's pretty remarkable. It's pretty remarkable what we're seeing here. Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of ridiculous listening to her. If Arkansas had a face, yeah, exactly. Yeah, cannot stand that woman. Yeah, we'll see her get to justice, or we'll hear of the justice that she already received. One of those two things, and that's without question something, my friends. I don't want you to think that it's not going to happen. It absolutely, without question, is going to happen. Otherwise, they would not be alerting the very awake people all of that they're showing us. Okay. yeah. So, oh my gosh. So much going on. So much going on. What do I want to take you to next? The Poland just told the EU to go to hell. They are not going to be doing the Digital Services Act, and the state is supposed to guarantee freedom, not restricted. And the EU spent years building the most sophisticated censorship machine in the Western world. One man, one veto, destroyed. Think about what this law actually was. Governments deciding what you can post. UK has put more people behind bars for freedom of speech than I think any country in the modern era. I mean, it's just insane. Governments deciding what you can share, governments deciding what is true, governments deciding what you are allowed to think. Poland said no. While Germany complied, France complied, and the entire EU rolled over, Poland vetoed it. The same Poland that buys more gold than the ECB, the same Poland that surpassed the European Central Bank in reserves, the same Poland that has been right about everything, is now the last wall standing between European citizens and state-controlled speech. Think about it. If Poland did not step up, the EU would have fallen to the censorship. The EU doesn't want free citizens. It wants manageable ones. Poland just reminded them what freedom actually looks like. Every European should be paying attention without question. And this is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, great news. Now, I want to take you to some esoteric stuff that I got into here a little bit. And I want to get back to that. Well, first of all, Florida is putting wireless EV chargers inside the highway itself. Drive over it, get charged, no more anxiety issues. If this scales nationally, the last real argument against EVs just disappears. This is from Mario Nafal. I'll share that on my timeline. Pretty cool concept. I hope it comes to fruition. And let me take you. Oh, by the way, the TSA has updated its guidance for medical marijuana, listing it as allowed on both carry-on and checked bags. Just remember, it has to be, you have to have a prescription for it, I'm sure, right? I'm reposting the middle finger to Mandani. I got to repost the Spencer Pratt. And I already reposted Jesse. Okay. So let me take myself back to figure out what I missed there, how I bypassed this. Hey, you have some good content here, Dave. Glad I caught this live stream. Yeah, 53 Lyric One. Thank you for that. And normally I show my face and I'm in my studio in the Sned Shed. Tonight, just kind of easing into the week here in my Barcalounger, because actually my desk is stuck in the up position, in the standing position. That's primarily why I'm lounging right now, and but I'm glad you caught us. I like to shatter the indoctrination. I did not catch the rededication ceremony yesterday for Grizzly. Interesting. JD looked different. And so let's see. let me take you to. Let me take you to. Yeah, I already shared that. There's another Jesse that I want to share with you, and then I want to get to the esoteric stuff. But this is going to open up that kind of portal to the esoteric stuff. Let me see. Let me take you to this here. Here we go. Oh, just on the subject of the EU and Britain and the censorship, I want to take you to a Tommy Robinson rally in Britain, and notice who is booed and who is cheered as they show these pictures up on the screen. They can't stand Starmer. Look at Trump.
Let me hear it. USA! 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 USA!
You know, the UK is done. They're so done with these morons. Thanks, Kev. I'm going to pull up a few things here. And we have a mosque shooting, breaking news. Sandy, any more information than that? Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's taking us good old time, I'll tell you that much. See if I can find it. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, give some love. Thank you, Jeannie. And folks, if you want to donate to my work here, please, you can do your camera phone on that and go directly to the link, or you can support me at Zelle or Give, Send, Go. And I appreciate you and appreciate your support of my soon-to-be 1,700 shows over 8 years. Holy shit. What a journey, friends. For those of you who have, love me some Tommy. Yeah, all right, I'll check it out on YouTube, the rededication ceremony. Liberty's mine. I'm excited about entering the woo, Dave. Yes, mind blown, radiating heart. I'm with you. I am with you. Let's see. Only 3 dead at the mosque shooting in San Diego. Is that what's going on? I don't know why it's not showing up on my grok. Like I'm grokking, was there a mosque shooting? And it just kind of froze on me. Now it's finally looking. Let me see. Whew, it's been such a long haul, my friends. I am feeling my my oats here. Let me get this. Yes, there was a mosque shooting yesterday, May 18, at the Islamic Center in San Diego, the largest mosque in San Diego. 3 adults were killed inside or at the center, including a security guard who officials say prevented a worse outcome. 2 teenage suspects, ages 17 and 19, were found dead nearby in a car from apparent self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Why didn't they just do that first? Total deaths 5, 3 victims, 2 perpetrators. The incident began around 11:43 a.m. Pacific and involved an active shooter response at the mosque and nearby areas. Police and the FBI are investigating. It's being looked at a possible hate crime. Pretty much aren't most crimes that, you know, point to somebody could be a hate crime. Yeah. Developing story, live updates from major outlets. Yeah. Yeah. So, so sad, you know, innocent people dying, right? 2 dead, 3 dead, 2 teens, 18 and 19. 3 men dead, the victims, 2 teenagers dead, the suspects. Wow. Yeah, you guys are dialed in. Well done. Well done. Thank you, my friend Edward. We're ridiculously low on free audience participation. Smash the like, please. God minds. Good minds think alike. Yes, thank you. So you can do that with your phone. Please take the effort to just support what we're doing here. It's such an important thing, folks. I know the importance of the work that we're doing together. I know the significance of it. I've seen it. I see it in the future. I see it in the present. And it is so important that we keep this going. And it's so important that we really understand that our lives are going to be changed so beautifully if we just follow through on what it is we need to do. That's all. It's really that simple. We just need to follow through with what we need to do. We need to hold everyone accountable. Everyone accountable for their crimes. And we have the opportunity to do that. Every day we get together. We have this opportunity. Yeah. Karen asks a question. Could you please give us your take on Q Drop 35? It starts out, POTUS will be aboard Air Force One and abroad, specific location unknown. Yeah, so yeah, let me take you there. That is definitely something that we have been to recently, and you know, we have been taken there recently. So let me take us there. And Q Drop 35, and we're talking. Where's 35? I typed in 34 accidentally because it showed up Q Clearance Patriot. But let me pull that back up here. Hold on. Huh. I lost my place in time. At any rate, let me take you to 35. 35. POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment. Now, I'm so glad that, Karen, you asked me to look at this. And it's not necessarily because we've been taken here, but we have been taken here in the past couple weeks. But just the part about him being well insulated, which Whippenspur mentioned earlier. Insulted is, I think, what she said. It is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. Okay. Now, this is after 34, Q clearance patriot. All right. And then and I think it's important to go there too. Let me pull that one up, because we've been to Q clearance patriot, by the way, many times over the past couple weeks. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11/3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11/4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Yeah. So public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast system during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news, to all citizens. Organizations and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. Okay. Then the next one opens up with POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment, it is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. Has it? Have you discovered this in a way, I ask you? Because, yeah, it's just, the whole idea of the Q drops, the whole idea of Trump's tweeting and his crazy, trolling that he has been doing for quite some time is to send the message and wake people up to the real message of what's really happening here. So the question is, has this message reached enough people to make a meaningful impact? Certainly it's impacted a lot of people very positively, but we need to get as many as we can awake. So follow the questions from the previous threads and remain calm. The primary targets are within DC and remain at the top on both sides. The spill over in the streets will be quickly shut down. Look for more false flags. Stay alert, be vigilant, and above all, please pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his only one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Love is patient, love is kind. God bless my fellow patriots. This was, I believe, the first time, 35, that DJT signed this, 4/10/20. Okay. It's, yeah. So this is important because this is how it's all going to go down. And he's going to be well insulated. Okay. That has been made clear to us. Yeah. That's been made very clear. It just matters, getting a, yeah. So it's all coming home to roost, my friends, and they're prepping us for this. So many comms, my friends, have been dropped and setting us up for this greatness that we're about to experience as a civilization. Okay. So I want to take you to a few different things I picked up earlier. I am looking for this, and this is the political prisoner stuff. Okay. Now, it's going to be, see, all these political prisoners are slowly being exposed. And how can you justify these arrests for online content? How can you justify this? You cannot. UK, Belarus, Germany, they're worse than China, Turkey. That's all EU. France. Okay. And Poland said, no, not going to do it. Not going to do it. And here we are, friends. This is absolute exposure of all of the people across the board, right? And this is what they're putting behind bars. Memes, they shine the light on. Rape gangs, they ignore. I mean, how can that be? How can that be? They're showing us. That's what we have to continuously remind ourselves, is they are showing us. We are watching a show, a movie, a program that was meant to, kind of peter along until you found the right scenario. And the next thing you know, yeah. Let's go back to LA for a moment. This was another Spencer Pratt ad. Let me play that for you.
All right, class, great job today. Hey, I have to tell you something. Promise you won't get mad? I'm voting for Spencer Pratt. Get mad? I'm voting for Spencer Pratt too. Did someone mention Spencer Pratt? No? No. Oh. because I'm actually voting for him. Oh, so are we. I just don't know if we can say that too loud over here. Say what? Spencer Pratt? He's got my vote. Wait, is everyone here voting for Spencer Pratt?
Okay, folks, that sigh of relief, I'm here to tell you, is real. And I have lived in California for 25 years, and I could not have this conversation about Donald Trump in 2016 without being completely discredited, without being completely ostracized by a group of people. I mean, it's next level nonsense is what it is. Next level nonsense. Yeah, let me take you to this story. Let me see. Here we go, folks. Let me, this is what I'm trying to find you. And by the way, Saturday Night Live tried to pin Epstein on Trump this weekend. It was with, what's his name? It was meant for, hosted by, what's his name? I'm forgetting this clown. I can't even find him funny anymore. Will Ferrell. But this was caught by Jeff Peterson, and I thought it was interesting because, again, patriots are in control. It's just getting frustrating seeing some of this stuff. But listen to this.
But I thought you were dead. I am, remember? I killed myself. Wink! So, how you doing, Donnie, baby? Not so good, Jeffy. My approval rating's in the 30s. Oh, the 30s? Gross. Call me when it hits 17.
Pretty funny, isn't it?
Very dark. Dark situation. So, what are you up to these days, Jeff? How's heaven? It's...
So he says, how's heaven? And he says, it's really hot. But there you have a 17, right? You have 17. It's a downright calm, folks. It's like, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any more real than that. Yeah. The swamp or the reflecting pool. They're testing out some water, see how it does, see if it holds, right? Pretty good stuff. A post on War Powers Act. And this was from President Trump a couple hours ago. Let me play the one. Let me play this one. Let me find the volume. Don't you just love how they put the volume buttons in different places.
We're in a fight against the worst congressman in the history of our country. His name is Thomas Massey. He's from Kentucky. I hope you're going to put him out of business tomorrow. He is so bad. Got an election coming up. He's running against a great guy, a great patriot, Ed Gilrain. He's fantastic. But forget that. Massey's the worst congressman in the history of our country, always voting against Republicans and good values. So get rid of Thomas Massey.
Not messing around, folks. Get rid of him.
Hello, Montana. I'm thrilled to give my complete and total endorsement to Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Flint, an amazing guy to represent the people of Montana's 1st Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Aaron is a 5th-generation Montanan and a decorated combat veteran who served our nation with honor and distinction both in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's been around and he knows it well, and he won, and he just knows how to win. It's what he wants to do. He's dedicated his life to fighting for our country and the people of Montana, and now he's going to fight for you in Congress. Aaron will be a fearless champion for our great farmers and ranchers and growers, people that all supported me. I got 97% of the vote. We're trying to figure out who the other 3% were. But he'll be defending the rights of sportsmen and outdoorsmen, and he'll vote for lower taxes, less regulation, a lower cost of living, more Montana jobs, and more products made in the USA. So Aaron will also fight for a strong, secure, sovereign border. And as you know, we did a great job in the border. We had literally no people coming into our country for the last 11 months. And when I took over, the border was a horrible mess. Our country was allowing tens of millions of people to pour in, from drug dealers to people from prison, murderers, 11,888 murders. People from mental institutions were allowed to just walk right into our great country. But we removed a lot of them, and we continue. Aaron will support our military, protect our vets, safeguard our elections, and defend our Second Amendment. And everybody, go out and vote for Aaron Flint to represent Montana's 1st Congressional District. He will never let you down. Thank you very much.
Quite the endorsement. President Trump dropped another one here. Let me pull that up for you. That's doing that. Making it impossible to do.
I'll be doing, hopefully, a very powerful tele-rally tonight for a friend of mine, Ed Gilrain, who is a fantastic man, a fantastic hero, war hero, farmer from Kentucky. He's running against the worst congressman, in my opinion, worst Republican congressman in the history of our country. The guy's a total disaster, and you know who it is. Thomas Massey. He's the worst. So we have to get out and vote. We have to make sure that Ed gets there. I mean, Ed left the Republican Party because he couldn't stand Massey, couldn't stand watching him, couldn't stand how disloyal he was to your president. He left the Republican Party, but he came back, and he came back strong. He couldn't stand Massey, and neither can I. A bad guy. So get out and vote. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yeah, we needed to hear about Massey once again. You know, it's the whole thing where he just needed to be exposed, and now, and I covered, I think, last week, that there are sexual assault allegations against him, supposedly, significant, and supposedly one of his staffers. So, we're getting closer, my friends. Is really, all I can really think about is how far we've come, and yet how far we still have yet to go. Yeah, and this is a huge story out of California again. I mean, just wow. Let's play this. Here it is. Now listen closely to where this money goes.
Grid Alternatives is an expose that we did for CalDoge. $1 billion of money coming from cap and trade, increasing electricity prices and gas prices, is flowing into a nonprofit network that occasionally installs solar panels on affordable housing, but also, more importantly, $928 million of our tax dollars has gone into a get out the vote machine for Democrats in California. So we are paying for the next Democrats to waste our money over and over and over again.
These guys take your cap and trade money, you know, that makes your gas, I don't know, $7.50 if you're in California. They take that money to throw solar panels on affordable housing.
But of course, if you put it on affordable housing, nobody knows that the solar panels came from the politicians that put the money there. And so they've got to have a door knocking operation to make sure that everybody knows where the money came from and how that got up there. And that's what the $928 million.
I don't want to say 928 billion anymore. Million? Was it billion? No, it's billion. It's billion. I don't want to say 928 million. It's $1 billion. Okay, it's $1 billion.
What's in California anymore, right?
So these guys are selling solar panels to affordable housing, but then they're taking your money to go door knocking on people's houses to tell them, "Hey, Karen Bass got you these panels."
I mean, there's no all free.
Oh, really?
Congratulations, you paid for it.
You paid more per gas because you cap and trade. Trading on what? Capping on what? You're in California.
Welcome to California.
Welcome to California, my friends. Welcome to
So I'm
California.
standing here on my roof right now looking at 27 solar panels, and I got to be honest with you, I'm pissed. Last week, I opened up my PG&E app just to check on things and see this number staring back at me, $668. And I'm thinking, wait, can this be right? So I start scrolling to figure out what the hell is going on. And I'm thinking, wait, that can't be right because I got 27 solar panels up here. I've been making my own electricity since 2013. So I start scrolling, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And that's when I realized, oh, that's just my true up so far. And it's only January. My actual true up doesn't hit until April, which means this number is going to keep climbing. So now I'm curious, right? I go back and pull up last year, $1,800. The year before that, $1,422. Every single year with 27 solar panels, my bill goes up, not down. And I'm thinking, how does this make any sense? I'm making more electricity and paying more money. But here's the thing that really got me. That true up, that's just the annual bill. On top of that, I'm paying a regular bill every single month. This month was $536. Last month was similar. Month before, the same thing. So when you add it all up, I'm paying somewhere around $500 a month plus another $1,800 at the end of the year. That's almost $8,000 a year with solar panels. I spent $30,000 on this system because California told me I'd save money, and I'm paying $8,000 a year for electricity. I'm generating on my own roof. So yeah, I started digging. First thing I did was go to PG&E's YouTube channel because I wanted to.
So we won't get the details, but I'm going to share this on my timeline if you guys want to check this out. But this is just, I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, the fraud of what's happening. So this is solar panels are shit to begin with, right? Shit to begin with, right? Somebody was asking about the EBS earlier. Forgive me for missing that. Yeah, it's, I don't know what you want to know other than, you know, the test is, some of the tests have been done, and I think they are working, and we get some different you know, texts that tell us to stay in place. Like in Austin, there were two young men that were stealing cars and shooting people. And so I got a few alerts on my phone that said shelter in place. There's an active shooting situation going on in Southwest Austin. I think it was Southwest. And yes, it was. And so it was like shelter in place. It was just really weird because I had never heard that before, like about a criminal, right? Like we hear about Amber Alert, there's a missing girl, and half the time she's with her father, that the corrupt judicial system took his little girl or his little boy or both away from him because the mother controlled the situation, and the courts controlled the situation in favor of the mother. And so many times men have been kept from their children, and this needs to change. I've had it happen in my own family 3 times. 3 times just in my family, where the woman filed for divorce, claimed father unfit, claimed violence, claimed erratic behavior, and the 3 fathers are 3 of the best men I know, and 3 of the best fathers I know. I mean, legit. One of them now has 7 children, with 5 with another woman, because he divorced the one with 2, that he had 2 with, and so he has those 2 half the time. Another was my brother Craig with his girls, and another was my brother-in-law. And so those are the Amber Alerts that we get half the time. It's not a child trafficking situation. It's a father taking his kid back. I mean, it's tragic. But at any rate, those are the ones we're used to getting. But now, just 2 days ago, just yesterday, Sunday, we got these alerts of shelter in place due to criminal activity. Okay? To me, that was the first time I've experienced that kind of thing. How about you guys? Have you experienced that before? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, get out and vote tomorrow, Kentucky, without question. Lauren Boebert going with Massey, you think? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people were flying to LA to vote for Pratt. That would be funny. If I had the money, I'd do it. Let's see. So, let me see. Is it let's see. Oh, somebody's from Massey. I get it. Listen, I get you're from Massey. There's some good things about Massey, but if Trump's exposing him, there's a reason, and you're going to find that, first of all, Massey was accused of kind of like creepy sexual behavior with this woman. And, certainly it's coming out at a time of election. So I think it needs to be looked at with a grain of what do they call it? Grain of salt, where we got to, question the timing of it all. And is it legitimate? But Trump, you know, Trump wanted the Epstein files out. That's what most people don't get. On July 8th, when he said in the cabinet meeting, you know, are we still talking about this Epstein guy? BG Create didn't understand that there were 11 Q drops on Epstein for that day. Clinton Foundation and child trafficking, blackmail. And then the other 9 were Epstein related. Q has been telling us about Epstein since 2017, BG Create 28. Massey didn't tell us about Epstein back then. But Trump is Q plus. And Trump had to trick the Democrats and the media into demanding the Epstein files, which they never fucking did. How long has Massey been in Congress? And he never asked for the Epstein files when Biden was there? Huh. Okay. He only asked for them when Trump pretends like he doesn't want to see them. Meanwhile, why are we still talking about this Epstein guy when I knew there were 11 Q drops on that fucking Delta day? Yeah. Listen, if you want to learn something, stick around. Okay. If you're for Massey and you don't understand that Trump called him out for a reason, okay. And yes, we have to get off glyphosate, but that's going to happen with RFK, and we saw the pushback on Trump on that. But look at all the other good stuff that's happening that no one gave them any credit for. So yeah. So it's let me just say this, that you haven't seen all of Massey, and you're going to, but it's going to be with him, I think, as a civilian. Yeah. So this is, have you guys been watching, these videos on Elliot Page, and how, came out that Christopher Nolan was going to cast Elliot Page as Achilles, and everyone just said, you got to be kidding me.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
So all of these videos are coming out. Obviously, he was a girl. Now he's a boy, I guess, and we're supposed to, buy into all that. And Hollywood is already so damn woke that, most of the shit is unwatchable. It just really, folks, this is a part. Here, this is a part of the awakening. Look at this guy here who stole $500 million through a renewable fuel tax credit fraud scheme. He had so much money, he couldn't launder it all. He bought Lamborghinis, Bugattis, private jets, yachts, and mansions in Turkey, Huntington Beach in Utah. Prosecutors say Levon employed a team of corrupt law enforcement officers, including former DHS agent Felix Cisneros, also former Glendale detective John Sorobalian, and former FBI agent Babak Brumand. One of the most audacious tax frauds in history. Levon was a Bel Air billionaire and gas station tycoon. But like always, it's just another foreigner stealing our money. The company was Washaki Renewable Energy. They filed false claims saying they produced and sold hundreds of millions of gallons of qualifying biodiesel, most of which never existed or was recycled on paper. They submitted paperwork to the IRS claiming massive biodiesel output from their Utah plant, supported by falsified records. They created fake import records and transportation logs to make it look like they were legitimately producing fuel from waste oils in Greece. Received over $511 million in actual IRS payments. They then laundered proceeds through billions in fake transactions across multiple bank
sentenced
accounts.
to 40 years in prison for his role in a billion-dollar scheme to rip off American taxpayers. Levon Termanzian, also known as the Lion, was convicted of conspiring with members of a polygamous sect in Utah known as the Order in one of the most audacious tax frauds in history. Levon was a Bel Air billionaire and gas station tycoon when he joined forces with members of the polygamous Kingston clan. Jacob Kingston took a plea deal and testified against Levon, telling jurors they had more money than they could launder, so they started buying Lamborghinis, Bugattis, private jets, yachts, and mansions in Turkey, Huntington Beach, and Utah. Prosecutors say Levon employed a team of corrupt law enforcement officers, including former DHS agent Felix Cisneros, also former Glendale detective John Belian, and former FBI.
Yeah, so I mean that shit is going down, and we're paying for it. Now, folks, when you think about it, we're talking about, I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars. So my question to you all is, if you thought you could get away with it, would you? Because they all thought they could get away with it. And this is the way this went down. And that, my friends, was going to happen with another 8 years of Hillary Clinton. And we knew it. We knew it was going to happen, because we were told it was going to happen. By Q, by the way. Maybe Massey will be the first arrest. Well, no, he's not. I believe, well, I don't know for sure, but I believe it will be Clinton and Obama. And by the way, VG Create, what did Massey do about human trafficking when he was in office? What did Massey do about the border? What did Rand Paul do about those things? Who has single-handedly shifted our country, pulled our country out of an absolute, free fall? Donald Trump did that. Okay. And if he's in Israel's pocket, Massey's not, because he doesn't take AIPAC money, but Trump takes, what's her name's money? What is it, Mandelson? It's not the name. They had casinos. The Jewish family. He died, and she gave Trump $300 million. You guys know her name, so drop it in the chat if you would, please. But this, what's Trump done about the two top tools that the state of Israel, the Khazarian mafia controllers of Israel, the two top tools that they use to control humanity, media and banking. What's Trump done with the media? Fake news. Destroyed it. How's Jimmy Kimmel doing? How's Stephen Colbert doing? How's The View doing? How's CNN doing? How's MSNBC? They had to change their name. NBC didn't want to be associated with them anymore. How's ABC doing with the lawsuit against them? NBC, the lawsuit against them. Fox, how are they doing? Trump has destroyed the mainstream media, has them on Air Force One, calling them fake news, in the gaggles, in the Oval Office, in the cabinet meetings, flat out calling them fake news, calling them terrible reporters. You're terrible. You're a terrible person. And they've never challenged him back when he says that. Do you think that's odd? That they don't say, Mr. President, I don't appreciate you talking to me that way. No. Are they fearful? Well, they're being humiliated on national television around the world. And you're going to tell me not one of these spineless sons of bitches is going to say something? I find that hard to believe. I don't find it hard to believe that they are reading a script. And that script, my friends, is the thing that is waking up the masses. Now, I want to share something with you. And here's the thing. You know, this guy, people that come on and they think Massey's good and Trump is bad. And I'm telling you, you're fucking clueless. You're clueless. Okay? I've been doing this a long fucking time. This is not my first rodeo. I'm almost 19 years into this great awakening, 1,700 fucking shows, deep research, a team of researchers, a band of Snedehead, Q, Patriot, beautiful, beautiful people that are constantly sharing not just this show, but other information and memes and going on to snedheads.com and helping each other awaken others, saving each other. The number of people I've saved from this fucking mRNA jab, the fact that I called out, the pandemic 8 months before it fucking happened, and when we hit the ground running with COVID, you knew exactly where I stood, and you knew exactly that the vaccine was going to be worse than the pandemic itself on day fucking 1, 8 months before COVID. That's who I am. Okay? So if you want to be a smart ass and you want to say, oh, Massey, I know this, I know that, let me explain something to you. It's like me as a professional basketball player playing against a fucking child. It is mental gymnastics that people have to go through to actually try to wrap their heads around how, with all the research I've done and with the level of awareness that I have and awake that I have, the awake time, decades that I have had, I've called it every fucking step of the way, and I haven't been wrong. And I'm not tooting my own horn for my ego. I'm stating facts because of your ego that can't wrap your little fucking brain around the fact that I am intellectually superior to you in these matters. You wouldn't question a PhD in physics on an equation of, motion. But you're going to question me on, oh, Massey's a good guy. No. No. And it's not just my knowledge, by the way, that I'm tapping into and my insight. It's fucking Q. It's Donald Trump. Okay. The guy who's saving the world. You think that's a fucking joke? You think I don't understand what's going on here? This audience is one of the smartest audiences on the internet, period, end of story. I'm not fucking around here. I'm not playing games. I'm not somebody who casually makes statements about things. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know what's going on. And I have shared this with you for free for 1,700 shows, soon to be. For free. Never a paywall. Never pretended to know something that you couldn't find out yourself. Never pretended to have a secret source. Never pretended to be a part of Q. Never pretended to be someone I wasn't. Never pretended to be the dead son of one of our greatest presidents. My friends, we are way ahead of the curve here. If you're watching this show, you are light years ahead of most. Okay? The things that we have covered here, thank you, Musically Medicated. We appreciate you so much, Dave. You're one genuine soul. What a beautiful thing to say. Thank you. Angel, you go, David. Thank you. Dave, because of you, I didn't get the jab. I thank you, Marie. I love that. I love that. And by the way, light it up, Coach Dave. Mad respect. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate you. And, because here's the thing, folks. It's like I don't get into conversations with people anymore. I just, thank you, Farhad. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. As are you, my friend. As are you. Jeannie, fuck around, find out. Been here 6 years. Dave was my awakening. Thank you, Jeannie. I tell you what, that warms me cockles, Jeannie. It's just, folks, we gotta stop fucking around. I'm not like I'm not gonna pretend with people. I'm not gonna get caught up in this bullshit of these paid. By the way, if you want to support my work, that rant was not about asking for money, but you know what? You got to ask for money because you got to ask for what you need. And by the way, for those of you who got involved with this amazing machine, okay? Gary, thank you, Dave. You brought truth when everyone else was lying. Thank you, my friend. I was on X sharing. I was catching up. Jingle, good to see you. Dave, you're the best. Cheers. Thank you, Chivo. So those of you who got involved with this amazing Holy Life device that that I shared on last show, and if you haven't seen last Wednesday's show, my friends, please go and watch that show and learn about what PEMF and what terahertz does to help the body heal itself. It's amazing. And I interviewed a naturopath and a Maria Boldry, and she was fantastic. We had a great conversation, and she talked about the body, and we answered questions about the PEMF. And I had Nancy on, and we had Wayne on, who brought me into this company. And I'm telling you, folks, it's going great. I hit M1, which is some level that very few people get to, and certainly not within 4 days or whatever. So that one day, and Nancy bought you all the owner's manual. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for all the work that you were doing, you and George and Wayne, for just reconnecting with beautiful people like we did with 7K. But this thing, folks, is it is, I can feel it changing me. Okay. My energy level has been throughout the day very solid. My sleep has been intense. And I'm just doing 2 20-minute sessions a day. One when I'm either oil pulling in the morning, or I am doing the my coffee sometimes in the morning, and this is the website, snedpemf.com. The game taught me how to push my body. Experience taught me how to take care of it. And this is me playing against Georgetown. There's Reggie Williams, who played in the NBA. There's Perry McDonald, who was a Golden Gloves boxer. And that is Steve Wright, who was my roommate at Providence. Yeah, my roommate, who I love, but I'm a racist because, I support Donald Trump. I mean, people are sick and stupid. That's the bottom line. They will say anything to justify their behavior and their actions. So this is it's supporting recovery. So check out these videos. Support your body naturally. This is kind of like, if you were to bury yourself underneath a tree in the soil, but you get it all in 20 minutes of just an incredible download of frequency, and that the body just absolutely thrives on. So this is, I want to thank all of you, and I will, by the way, speak you by name when I'm ready, when I'm on the camera and all that. I don't want to do it now, but I want to thank you all who got involved, and really it's special, and it's really going somewhere. And if you're excited about changing your health, I ask you to check that out. And if you want to be a part of an incredible group of people, join us. And this is, the future of medicine is frequency. And one of the things that she did, that she and I both know, is the Healy. and we still love our Healy, and we still use the Healy. Thank you, Django. I appreciate that. Dave, you the best. Hunter, you woke us up years ago from our slumber. Yes, thank you, Hunter. I appreciate you. Yeah, please check it out. You'll love it. Musically Medicated. I'm sold, and I'm doing the belt. By the way, I'm doing the belt twice a day, and that's amazing. And I'm also doing the eye thing because I want to get rid of my readers. I want to be able to come to you live without my readers. So that's my goal with the eye mask. And all these devices are still less than, the Beamer, which is a frequency device that isn't as strong and doesn't have the terahertz. Jingle, thank you, my dear. So excited about that. Very cool. Very cool. Wayne, the P90 Plus helped lower my A1C and cholesterol level. Yes, this is, Wayne, that is great news, man. That was like a diabetes situation, and changed his life. Hunter, I'm going to save up for one. Hope it helps my RSD. What is RSD? Yeah, it's helping people with fibromyalgia, neuropathy, art, and many ailments. Neuropathy, art, and many ailments. It's helping people become better artists. Or did you forget an F there? Or arthritis, were you going to say? Arthritis, maybe. I don't know, Wayne. We could come up with a lot of things that could be funny, but I bet you're saying arthritis. Yeah, just found out you need readers. Exactly. And so I'm wearing this mask, and it's supposed to, like, in a couple of weeks, like, get you off the readers. Arthritis. Thank you, Wayne. Had some fun with it, though. And neuropathy. Yeah, some people are having some success with neuropathy. It's a very interesting thing. Neuropathy. I've known people that have it, and they just have not been able to do anything with it. And Wayne, didn't you say you knew somebody with neuropathy? So, my friends, I want to thank you all for helping me get to this M1 level, and to really, what that means, by the way, is I'm helping a lot of people. And just like I was just thanked for saving you from the jab, okay, saving your family from the vaccine, I thrive on helping people, and that's why every single one of my shows is free and always has been. Donation only. If you want to buy something of the few things that I offer that help, if you want to buy some merch, you can do that. But I ain't getting rich off this, folks. This has been a labor of love, and you can always see the people who did it for money, because they don't last. They don't last. Or they expose themselves for what's truly driving them, which is the money that they're getting to, preach certain beliefs. And those people are exposing themselves without question. So, mad respect to you all, and thanks for not just supporting me, but supporting yourself, like really taking a step to get healthier, to get stronger. Listen, we're going into a whole new world, my friends. We're going into a whole new reality on this earth. Are you ready for it? Because I want to be ready. I'm not waiting for med beds. I'm getting the SNED bed. Okay. And I'm going to continue to get healthier and healthier and healthier because I want to enjoy this new world we're stepping into. Because as much as we can say that we're doing it for our children, we're doing it for our grandchildren to, awaken the world, to try to help people to understand how much we've been lied to and why and who has benefited from those lies and who has controlled the media and who has controlled Hollywood and who has controlled the music industry and this satanic cabal that was once this like, oh, Dave, I can't believe you think these people are a bunch of Satanists 19 years ago. Now is in the common vernacular. Now is a conversation you might have at the coffee shop with somebody just out of the blue. Yeah, how about these Satanists that are controlling the earth right now? The P. Diddy parties, the Epstein, human trafficking, the Mossad operation that was Epstein and Maxwell, the CIA operation that was P. Diddy and Hugh Hefner. Okay, the rooms in the Columbia Towers, the Columbia Records Tower on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, by the way, Hollywood actually, but it's within Los Angeles, but it's its own city, but it's Hollywood. And the Capitol Records building, there's a room where they put a curse, not a curse, but they bless these records with satanic imagery and satanic seances and weird like prayers and like to Satan. They have been in control, and we are absolutely transforming this world. And we would not be able to do it were it not for Q and were it not for Donald John Trump. And were it not for his whole family who are taking over business while he does what he does, okay, tending to things, okay, and his cabinet and the work that they're doing, one day, my friends, it may not be that obvious now, but I promise you, and I've been right more than I've been wrong, I promise you that we are going to look back on this time and we are going to be absolutely dumbfounded that we even allowed ourselves to engage in the thought that this wasn't saving the world. The actions that are being taken right now. So I want to go into this world with health, with wealth, and with love. Because, man, it is going to be heaven on earth. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing this. Believe me, this was the worst business decision I ever made starting this work. It's the worst thing I've ever done financially in my life. I've played pro basketball. I had my own business that I was offered $1 million for when I was 30 years old, and a 3-year contract at $100,000 a year. I was offered 38 million twice for a business idea, in a concept and a prove out that I did with my brother, and turned it down. 2 Russian oligarchs still looking to pull together funding for that, because that's going to unlock the oil sand and the gold in Utah, Canada, Venezuela, like you'd never seen. Like, the gold is more valuable than the oil. I've made movies, done some cool things, made some decent money in my day. This was a sacrifice. This was a labor of love. And this has led us to a point in time in human history that we are shifting our reality every single day. Every single day, somebody is being exposed for lying to us, stealing from us, poisoning us. I mean, every day. And it's not like it was, these people are being exposed like 10 years ago, when, 98% of the population wasn't sleeping in, slumberland. People are awake now. People are awake now. So the people that were being shown, the things that were being shown, that we're exposing, they're not going to get away with it. Because I've always said that there's the person that commits the crime and the person who is supposed to enforce justice for that crime. If they don't do their job, we now have 2 criminals. Okay? And that's the thing that we have. We have 2 criminals. The people that actually did it and the people that covered it up or let them off easy or gaslit us, told us that Pizzagate wasn't real. Told us Sandy Hook was real. Told us Columbine was real. Told us that there was a single shooter at JFK. Didn't tell us the FBI was following Martin Luther King. Didn't really get to the bottom of RFK's assassination. The murder of JFK Jr., because he was going to run a Senate campaign against Hillary Clinton, and she was going to fucking lose. All right, we've got these people that have lied to us, and they're the criminals because they're covering up for the criminals. They are an accessory to this crime. These crimes could not be continued without the media, without Hollywood, without the rewriting of history to the benefit of those who control us. And this is all coming to an end. This is all coming to an end, and we're not going to celebrate it, and we're not just kicking it up and dancing and I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you. Thank you, Musically Medicated. I appreciate all these beautiful conversations we're having here, folks. All these great comments. You know, this is happening. Reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or now call it CRPS, pain usually 24/7. Put your hands in a fire and hole. Best description. Oh my God, that's horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my God. Kathleen, can we talk? Maybe figure it out with Wayne. Maybe we can figure something out here. But folks, like, I know there's options, like to buy these. Nancy, we got to talk with Kathleen here. Hunter Sabo, please. Sorry to hear that. I had 24/7 pain, my back. I used to jump 3 feet in the air and I landed really stiff. And I would jump and jump and jump and dunk and dunk and dunk. And I played without respect for my body, as one of my coaches once told me. And he said, this part isn't a compliment, Dave. And this was a coach that played in the NBA. And I respected him. And he said to me, Dave, you know I love your game, and you're a hustler. But what I'm about to tell you isn't a compliment. He said, you play with absolutely zero respect for your body. He said, you jump in the air and you have no idea where or how you're going to land. And 3 feet in the air for somebody who's 6'8" is pretty, that's pretty high up there. So my body, I was 24/7 in pain. PEMF alone, without the terahertz that this one has, healed, helped my body heal itself. I want to be very clear. This device will not heal you. It will put your body, it'll give your body the juice it needs to repair itself. It's the kind of thing that will help your body rid itself of debilitating pain. Without question. Without question. So, my friends, we are changing the world, and we're a part of an incredible movement, an incredible revolution. Without question, folks, we will look back on this time and it will be called the Second American Revolution. And we again are fighting that revolution against the redcoats. Redcoats, some people call them the England. Some people call it the City of London. And some people call the redcoats Red Shield, Red Rothschild. The bankers. Rothschilds, the bankers that have enslaved humanity through every single central bank around the world. Who told us about that? There, Mr. Massey Lover. Q told us that, just like Q told us about Epstein. Okay? Q did. All right? Many of us already knew these kind of things, which is why we knew that Q was legit. You can't be a dumbass and step into Q and think that Q is the bomb, because you have to know if Q was right to begin with. And for Anons that were already awake that happened upon Q in October of 2017, we knew that Q knew what the hell they were talking about. He, she, we didn't know who it was at the time. We still don't know who, but we know it's less than 10 that know it all, that know everything, that see the big picture. Less than 10. My friends, this is, we knew a lot of this stuff coming in. And so when Q started talking about it, we started grokking, because we knew that these people were corrupt. We knew that Hillary Clinton needed to be arrested. We knew that Epstein was running a child trafficking ring and got a slap on the hands in 2008. And was allowed to, like, leave his cell for 12 hours during the day. I mean, it wasn't even fucking prison. He was fucking little girls when he'd go out for a day pass. And anybody that tries to tie him to Trump, like, SNL did this weekend, which is unwatchable, by the way. But they did Will Ferrell in the opening, I think, with Trump and Epstein, and but they used the number 17. That's Q. That tells me that this is an operation, that this is a script that they used to be handed scripts by the Satanists, the Saturnists. It's all about Saturn, folks. It's all about Saturn. The black cube. 666. It's just, it's very dark, and we must continue to shine the light on it all. My friends, thank you. Yeah. Dave, we are living in two different worlds right now. It's weird when you know it and live it. Cheers. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Yeah. Nancy is saying that if you want to order, fill out the info, and they'll call you to help place your order or just answer your questions. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, right. And let's start healing your body at the cellular level. That's what's going on at the cellular level, folks. And this is why this is so important. We are giving ourselves the truth of the world, of what we're doing, of what's happening in the world right now. We are giving ourselves the truth. And that truth has been somewhat toxic for ourselves, because it is in violation of all these other cells of other people and in our body that have been told a very different reality. So we are shifting at a cellular level that first goes kind of dark, but then kind of comes back around when you realize, when the vindication starts to happen, and you start to, realize that, what you were feeling was right all along. The things that you were questioning were right all along. And so and by the way, Edward, I don't watch that crap either, but I got to watch it for this show so I can talk to you about it, right? But it's so bad. I had to turn off the segment. It was like so nasty. It was just ridiculous. So, yeah, and the revolution will be televised, right? Nancy, grateful you decided to do the show, Dave. The money will come with all the help you're providing us in the journey to sanity and health you're providing by sharing PEMF too. Thank you, Nancy. So the we did beat the British, right, in the first Revolutionary War, but they got back in with the central banks. And there's a whole group of people, they're still with us with the judiciary, with the British Accreditation Registry. You got to pass the bar. That's why they wear the robes and the funny wigs sometimes. It's all still the maritime law, right? That's right, Nancy. It helped George with his neuropathy and lowered A1C blood sugar levels dramatically. That's awesome. Yeah. And so anyway, my friends, I kind of went off on a rant there. And I'll do that from time to time. And I'm just posting Sned PEMF in X on X because it's only really here on Rumble when it's shared by Moonbeam and also shared by me sometimes, but I showed it. It's an easy address to pull up, Sned PEMF. But but here's the thing, you don't want to be ignorant. You don't want to ignore a rant. With a rant from somebody you respect, there's substance in that rant. Because it's passionate, it's well thought out, it's well spoken, it's well said, because you have seen me before, heard me before. And so that's a rant you don't want to ignore, but so many people ignore it because they haven't given me, or somebody like me. Nobody's like me, but you know what I mean. Somebody that does what I do. We haven't gotten our PhDs. We haven't gotten our accreditation from the very system which has enslaved us. And therefore, we lack the credibility at the Thanksgiving table, especially when we're so far out ahead of shit that it seems absolutely insane to even say it. But many have ignored my rant. You, my friends, have not. Sonia, you got to go back at least an hour and watch it. Good to see you, my dear. Beautiful. Welcome. And what's the Texas? Okay, hold on. Nerve pain triggered from a fall 20 years ago. No breaks. Wow. Chiropractor, neck surgery. Yeah, chiropractors wouldn't help me, but PEMF got me walking pain-free. Texas, don't forget to vote. What's going on? I am not dialed into the Texas vote, folks. I am not dialed in. What's going on? Because my daughter's senior year, it's been crazy. I'm coaching. Let me see. Vote Texas. Next election takes place on May 26, 2026. And what election is that? Texas evacuees. Yeah, so it looks like I got some time. It's not tomorrow then? Is that accurate? So I'll look back to the chat for any answer you might have on that. Paxton runoff with Tellerico. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you for the heads up on that. Man, I've been out of the loop. Okay, let me pull this up here. Let me take you to Paxton. What happened? I lost my, I just lost my StreamYard. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Sorry, I totally lost my screen there for a moment. So here's Paxton's ex. Let me see. I just sued the school illegally operating as Tex AM for offering unauthorized degrees and misleading Texans. Another fraud situation. Texas American Muslim University for unlawfully presenting itself as a university offering degrees it is not authorized to grant and misleading prospective students about its legitimacy. Tex AM has never been issued the certificate of authority required to operate a private post-secondary institution in Texas. Another scam, folks. We're so stupid. Do you understand how stupid we are? Like, do you understand how liberal women have ruined our country and their cuckold men? Do you understand how bad a problem this is that we just allow people to stroll in from other countries and just scam the shit out of us like we're a bunch of chumps? Okay. Wow. Okay. Thune is not passing the Paxton and Tellerico. Yeah. So this is why are we having such a difficult time? Ann Richards, Paxton too strong with Latinos to have a 55-45 white margin. 46-41%. Tellerico. So Tellerico Ken Paxton. You gotta vote for Paxton, folks, without question. Yeah, we got to get Paxton in there. Tellerico is
Hero is.
This is Tellerico here. All right, here's a little taste of Woca Rico. Here we go.
Almost always someone who is on the outside, who's on the margins, who's different and despised. And that's who we're called to love as ourselves. And it's not easy. But I think if we figure out how to do that, we're going to save this American experiment. We're going to rebuild our communities that have been torn apart by forces much bigger than us as individuals. And we'll be able to get this country and this world back on track.
Yeah, see, this guy doesn't have a clue on how to get this world back on track. He doesn't have a clue. I don't think he knows how to shave. But listen, he might be a hell of a guy. But this socialist experiment is been tried. It's been tried by Europe. It's been tried by here, the U.S. It's failed. Okay, my friends, you know I love you. I'm grateful that you came to join me and hang out with Jasper and Whiskers. And would you please do me a favor? You know, I was Jasper and I were watching my sister and brother-in-law's dog, Magnus, who is, you know, Jasper's cousin and bestie. Okay. And he stayed with us for 10 days while they traveled. And he went home Friday night and he ate. And then the next day he was very lethargic and he was having some problems. Long story short, he had gotten a squeak mechanism out of one of his squeak toys. And I don't know if it was at his place or here, but I'm finding most of the squeaks are still squeaking around here. But it was lodged in his small intestine, so he had surgery today. So if you find it in your hearts to say a prayer for Magnus and his recovery, he's in the emergency room overnight, and the stitching has to hold and all that. And so, yeah, your prayers would be appreciated. Also prayers for Terry's wife, who's undergoing, I believe, surgery for cancer tomorrow. So please, prayers up for them. And my daughter, who's traveling, her senior trip, and just having a wonderful time. By the way, today is her birthday. She turned 18 today. Today is her golden birthday. And she's just, you know, the little girl who used to bring me dinner in the Sned shed. Remember her? All you ever got was her voice, her sweet voice. All the time I sacrificed being away from her for this revolution. She's 18 and she's absolutely incredible. And I'm so grateful that she is my daughter and that I am her father. And I'm grateful to her mother, who I spent 17 years with and is an incredible woman and a dear friend to this day of mine. And we do, I think, a very nice job co-parenting together. So yeah, prayers up for all of us. Yeah. And thank you for joining me tonight. And much love to you. I'll see you tomorrow night, unless I need help with Magnus, but I should be with you. I'm gonna go one night definitely, and help. I don't know what night that is. So let me see. Oh, thank you, Dina. Yeah, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you all for these comments. And what are they doing in Texas? Too many non-denominational Christians or liberal. You mean the Muslims? Yeah, I don't understand it because what's his name? Abbott's a globalist. Abbott's he's a World Economic Forum pawn. That's why they came to Texas. That's why Soros funded all that into Texas, right? Thank you, damn onions. Jingle, happy birthday. Prayers for Magnus. Thank you, Mary. You raised a wonderful young woman, but she'll always be your little girl. Absolutely. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, thank you, Catherine. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Lisa, our 6.7 and 8 hour shows. Yeah, Magnus. Can't believe that. I remember seeing a pic of her on the beach when she was little. Yeah. Horsepower, happy birthday to your sweet daughter. I remember all those dinners she would bring you. Hey, if you want to, listen, I wasn't planning on this at all. But if you want to, tip, you can tip your waiter. But how about tipping the waiter that I had, bringing me, food, bringing me dinner, for all those shows, and cooking those meals with Amy. If you would like to, send her a birthday gift, separate from a donation or whatever, I will see that, she gets something special with that, or puts it towards something, important for her education. And yeah, there's, certainly didn't plan on that at all, and I've never done that on this show. So I kind of feel a little weird doing it, but it just came to me. And I'm, again, 8 years doing this, and I've never done that. So, but it just came to me. Thank you for all these beautiful comments. Grateful you kept all those jabs away from her and gave her love, intellect, and health. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dave. You're more appreciated than you could ever know. Thank you. Oh, by the way, Wayne, we did the claw on him yesterday, twice, and so we'll have to do it on his recovery. Thank you for that. We should have him back tomorrow. Thank you, Jingle. God bless her 8 teammates. She followed the straight and narrow way. Praying for Magnus. Please pray for Oliver. He has kidney failure, just diagnosed. I'm sorry to hear that. What kind of dog is Oliver? Oh, Derek Johnson's father passed away. Tragic. So yeah, prayers up for Derek and his father. We've only connected once and never did a show with him or anything, but I know Derek's doing some good work. I mean, he's doing he basically encapsulated in a very legible way for many people the things that people like I was talking about for years. He came much later in the revolution, but he had a significant place in this revolution. So prayers up. She did. I don't want to really get into that because there's too many weirdos out there. So I'm not going to talk about the college. Yeah, so we'll do that. And thank you, John. I appreciate that. Oh, that's cool. Your daughter's birthday is today, 39. Give me a shout out, prayers for all the needs that are being put out right now. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And please give my best to your daughter on her 39th birthday. Wow, man. I hope I'm around when mine's 39. I'll tell you that much right now. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Thank you for the prayers. Yeah, those dinners were awesome and healthy too, Lisa. You're right. You're right. I love and miss those 5-6 hour shows. We get tired as we age. God rewards us all through small favors. Praises to our Lord and Savior. Yes. Happy birthday, sweetie. She made food for us in Topanga, a lovely young woman. So let's all send her a birthday gift. Yes. You know, Nancy and George came by the house, but also Nancy came up and helped us move. Was a huge help for us getting out of Topanga. One of these days I will have to rant. I recommend it, my friends. Flowers for your young lady. Thank you, Hunter, for that. Donation Nation on its way. Oliver's your cat. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. That's exactly. All right, my friends. So listen, tomorrow, because it's late, I'll bring up the donations tomorrow. Okay, join me tomorrow, and we'll go over those who made it happen. And I'll be, I'll probably have my face on camera. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. But all you need is my voice, right? I mean, I like a break once in a while. Much love, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, and unless I'm working with Magnus. All right. Good night. Be well. Live life. Love each other. It's life is just too short not to. Be well.